I'm going to be presenting some ideas for the bow staff creative weapon form. If you choose to do the bow staff, I recommend going between two different grips. So either having both hands kind of in a forehand grip like this, where they're just kind of both grabbing from the same side, or as a second grip to grab a little bit lower rather than being in the direct center of the staff. Now when I say direct center, I don't mean like this, but both hands have it where there's equal sides to the staff. But if you're kind of gripping the other side with this top hand, holding a little bit lower. And I'm not saying that these are the only two ways that you can hold a bow staff. I just find that these two ways work best for me when I use it. So in this hold, this is kind of the longer form strikes of the staff, kind of like how you're using it as a spear with a lunge, or coming in with a hammer, or say you're wanting to kind of do a parry counter. So thinking about, I've already kind of demonstrated some of the strikes that are, I would say, more favorable to use versus in the kind of center grip position. So as I just kind of demonstrated there, lunges are where, number one, I don't want to just, if I'm in this position, I just don't want to poke out from here. I want to take the staff, I want to pull it back, and then thrust forward when I'm striking, okay? So really make sure that it's not just a, barely a little poke, but that you're pulling back, striking out, and I even like to pull it back when I'm done. And then if you're looking to do a hammer strike, also instead of it just being shoulder down, which is fine to do, I like having a little bit more fun with it, where you kind of dip it down by your feet, and then you roll it around, and then when you're stepping into that, you're wanting to kind of sink with your stance. And I'm also trying to push with this top hand and pull with the bottom hand, which is what whips that bow staff faster on the hammer. But I also have to use the stance to kind of sink into that motion as I'm driving down, okay? And then going on to another strike, I also really enjoy doing that kind of parry into kind of an across motion strike. So this would be more, say that someone is coming in and lunging towards you, and say they're going towards your face. We're just kind of circling that bow staff like this, parrying it off, and then coming right back towards their head. You can also do it where you step with it too. If you want to kind of step your back foot off to the side, rotate, bam, and then countering back again towards the head. And that kind of brings up the point of what I like to call kind of a lever strike, because it almost looks like I'm cranking my hands as if I was cranking a lever. You can do that to multiple target areas, towards the head, towards the middle, or the rib area, or towards the knee, okay? You can also take this, into more of a sweeping motion too. Instead of stopping at the point of the knee, you can carry that motion through. You want to do a sweep. I like kind of pairing this where, say I can kind of go and sweep the legs out, rotate, bam, and then go into a hammer. I like doing those two together. It's a fun combo. And then one final idea I like to do with this grip is I also like to do where, say if I'm starting the form at a tension like this, as you would start all your creative forms, and say I want to grip the staff here where I can kind of shoot this up here, then I can come down, I can work across, and kind of turn that into a 4-count combo, where this is more kind of an uppercut motion, say towards the chin, or that could also be towards the groin if they were in close and came up to you, then striking towards the head, then coming across and doing a little bit those lever kind of strikes I showed before. You just go one side and then the next, okay? Before I go into doing this center grip, I'll also mention that in this longer position, this hand usually ends up being in the center, which makes a great point that if you want to do, something along the lines of a figure 8, again, moving with this, you can go, forward and back with it, whichever direction you prefer. But breaking this down, you're just kind of, again, having the hands, you can actually have them closer together now, but I'm keeping my wrists relaxed so I can bring this to the side of my body, dip, I rotate it, and then I dip it to the other side. My instructor, Master Grogan, always tell me it's kind of like if you're rowing a boat, you're in a canoe or a kayak, okay? And when you're doing that, it's a lot more focus on the arms, kind of the shoulders. But then if you start twisting your wrists more quickly, it becomes more of a vertical motion where the staff actually goes more to the side of your body, okay? Then again, moving with that, I like catching, boom. That's a great transition to go into a lunge. Now, in this middle grip, we also have our slashes that we do here, and you can get these off a lot faster because you've got, you know, both sides of the staff that you can work from. And as I just kind of showed there, I showed how you can still, you know, utilize kind of a hammer strike, kind of swinging that around and then kind of dipping down this way. I also like to do, you can do kind of an uppercut, swing it up, tuck in the elbow, and come across with a strike. So, again, just like the Eskrima sticks, you want to shoot for about 20 motions. 4 of them can be kicks. An idea for a kick is I can go high block, front kick, lunge. But there's a lot of other creative ideas that you can work kicks into your bow staff sequence as well.